welcome to the Overguard. We've got our PS4 Community Cup today coming into the quarterfinals. I am joined here today by Akpo.
Howdy, fellas.
And of course, Maggie PK as well.
Howdy, howdy.
And we will be your casters for today's tournament. So we are kicking it off today with Venom Esports and Ryujin. I'm going to start those guys off on Horizon Lunar Colony, as you can see right there. A little bit of stuff to go over before we get started. Make sure you guys are going over to the Matcherino and getting a little bit of money in for that prize pool. Make it as big as possible before the end of the tournament. I think we're up to almost $60 now. Doing well there. While we load in, is there anything you guys wanted to talk about? Anything in general, new patches?
No, I mean, just from personal experience, I know Sphinx is a very good player. He definitely knows a lot about the game, and he's been around it for a long time. So I know Ryujin definitely will have at least an advantage there, thanks to his experience and veteran savviness, if you will.
Do you want me to start this up?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and bring it on in. So we're playing on Horizon Lunar Colony, and this map is not a favorite of very many players. I don't find it a favorite. I don't like it myself very much, and one of the reasons that I don't really like it is because of the fact that it favors the attacking team so heavily. Looks like our teams are ready, so we are going to go ahead and get into Alrighty, there we go. Sorry for that quick pause, technical difficulties, but we are back in on Horizon, and like I was saying, I'm not a huge fan of this map due to the fact that you very often have quite a favorable advantage being the attacker. The first point is relatively 50-50 as far as holding and pushing, but I feel like the second point is just so difficult to hold.
And we're going to be seeing Barrier Watch here, ladies and gentlemen. Maggie, as the Orisa main here, we're seeing Orisa's coming out from both sides. But what's interesting is that Ryujin is coming out with just a single tank, showing up right now, next to that Orisa.
Seeing that on both ends, the trick to Orisa on Orisa fights is not really that different from Reinhardt. It's who can break the barrier first. That's all it really comes down to when you're playing a team of barrier. It looks like you got Junkrat and on team Venom there. He'll be able to crack those barriers if he can get in close enough pretty easily. It'll keep their team from grouping up pretty well.
I'm hoping Sphinx changes up this Hanzo. Well, that would be an interesting thing to see. There goes the team cop switching up Goldie onto the Winston, Killer onto the Lucio. But it looks like we're going to keep the Hanzo. Nope, there he is. He's trolling me to the very end. Switching off to the Diva as they come in for their first approach.
So it's interesting coming out here, you have the Pharah. You know, I've always contended that this is not such a great Pharah map, but Shadow, tell me wrong. But there's just not enough room, and it's too open for Pharah to really get a lot of value here, especially against an Orisa.
Well, yes and no. It depends on how your team comp decides to play it. Right now, this is actually a really smart play by Ryujin to use the Fair in the way that they are. They're having him distract them through this top hole and allowing the rest of their team to try and get some pick damage. The problem is that it doesn't seem the team is getting any pick damage in, but almost a full barrage for Constipu. So he'll have that barrage up quite quick, and that's going to be a huge advantage in the ult game. If he can get it in, he's going to go for a dicey pull here into the barrage, and he's going to grab almost the entire team, including that Orisa barrier. So looks like the Pharaoh play will come in handy.
They had the right idea there with the Orisa guarding the turret there, but they just were really too passive. They gave up so much ground so quickly, and they didn't let anyone come in and hold the spot. Oh man, that poor Lucio.
You know, Wad getting the early or getting killed early off. Killer got the headshot from ELO, took him out of the story, and now Constipu's gonna have a little bit of trouble as this Widowmaker looks to be popping heads as much as possible. All I'm hearing is dings when I'm in her perspective, and ELO is just going off on this defensive Widowmaker.
Yeah, he had some really nice shots there, and he really pushed Ryujin back and prevented them. But Constipu coming out here, actually killing ELO, that's going to force out the res coming out here from Jazza. And Venom, you know, they do have 3 ults up. You know, they do have the ult advantage for the most part. Killer Owen coming in with that sound barrier, he's going to pop it. And Wad's also going to pop his Valkyrie, and we got Valkyries going on both sides. And the Shatter coming out from Sphinx, it's a big one, but he's not able to follow up on it.
Looks like right now the kills are definitely falling in favor of Venom Esports, but the reses from Wad are going to keep Ryujin alive on the point as Jamie grabs Killer with her, with that self-destruct. A little tongue-tied there, sorry about that. And right now, we need to see Venom Esports get Wad out of the fight. He's just putting in so much healing, so much work on this point to keep his team alive. There's the Graviton from Goldie trying to finish this out. Riptire comes out and taking her. So it looks like still pretty even. Ryujin finally getting an edge.
Ryujin's doing a really good job of keeping a front line and a back line. You're watching Wad constantly shift what direction she's engaging her team from, and see right there, she's swapped, so she's always staying behind her tank, and her tank is always doing a great job in making space. She's doing a great job keeping that consistency going, and she is never far behind one of her 2 tanks. She's doing a good job of keeping one of them active and one of them making space.
Definitely using that new Mercy Glide.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting, you know, Sphinx, they do have that Earth Shatter, but Venom, they don't really have a counter, a shield to put up to stop that Shatter from coming in.
Ooh.
And so, and Sphinx has been building up this Shatter really, really quickly. So this could be a problem for Venom coming up.
That could be, especially after
that
I
Mercy's
just watched
dropped
ELO Earth. He gets a great kill on a Constipu, but Constipu immediately got rezzed, and then he whiffs the pulse bomb coming out, but Constipu does not whiff his, taking Carlos out of the fight, and that's a lot of sustainability no longer there for Venom Esports on the point.
Yeah, Sphinx actually gets Jazza, Goldie coming in with another grab, and Ryujin looks like they're following up, and they're just gonna take this. And looks like, oh, they're really close. What is it, 94%?
There it is.
There it is, yeah.
A well-fought victory coming in with quite a whopping time bank. They have 3 minutes and 37 seconds remaining. Very impressive there. But like I said, I believe that this map favors the attackers.
Yeah, and you wonder, is Ryujin gonna come out with their own Orisa from before? I mean, they're showing it now. Are they showing the Bastion Torb? Are we being trolled? Will all of our dreams come true? Time will only tell.
Sphinx on the Torbjorn. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one come out. Looks like my camera got stuck in the spawn room, so we're just gonna fly around for a little bit. Constipu onto the Diva, swapping to a tank roll. Play DPS on attack. Flexing over to his tank. Wad, of course, not surprised to see him stay on the, see them stay on the Mercy. Not surprised one bit.
Yeah, Chillo actually showing this matchup, which could be interesting coming up against Venom's comp. Especially with the Winston killing the turrets and Junkrat being able to blow up her, excuse me, through the barrier that she projects, because the damage that he puts out. Goldie, look, switching over to the Winston. What are they gonna do? They're gonna run defensive dive. Alright, they're gonna run a defensive far dive count. So, I mean, they ran the far before it worked, but Elo is gonna be coming out here on the Widowmaker, which could prove unfortunate for Ryujin.
This is true, but if they do this right, they have this kind of pseudo dive on the attack coming in from Venom Esports with Carlos and Jamie on those very mobile tanks, and then you also have Midas on the Lucio. So if the enemy dives and you counter dive at the right time, you can get a lot of damage in. Like right here, Goldie, he's already put the shield down. He's going to take care of ELO Earth. ELO has got to get out of there, so they no longer have the support of that Widow in these long sight lines. And it effectively destroys their push as long as Goldie can stay alive, but ELO is going to return the favor with a great shot mid-air. The res from Wad will keep him alive, and he will be immediately on to the job of getting ELO out of there. Constantly going to help him out, but like I said, they did the counter dive. They waited till they came around the corner, then they jumped onto the Widowmaker, they jumped onto the Mercy, and made this a difficult push.
Yeah, and Venom trying to posture here onto the point, trying to take get this far out of the air, but Constable is just raining hell down upon them, and he's making a real nuisance of himself for Venom.
Now we're starting to see ELO. This is when ELO is really going to get the chance to shine as long as he can stay away from Goldie. Oh, but Goldie and Constipu are not going to let him stay alive. He had a chance there. He had a clear sight line onto the point, but he wasn't alone for long enough to do any real damage.
Yeah, the strength of a defensive dive team showing itself with the fact that they can kind of break into two different sections. Like you've got a tank, you got a DPS, and you got a healer for each partner. They can kind of move in two different pairs to attack the different directions that the team's coming from. So you had the team that was able to go for Elo there on the Widow, and then they also had the team that was still able to hold the point and keep them off.
And Carlos is getting spot construction coming in, just going to take out Sphinx while he's out of that mech. But Wad coming in with the res, gonna bring Sphinx back, get that diva up. Goldie and Constipu just putting in so much damage. Carlos is gonna ult, but there's nothing he can do. That's just, he's gonna go down, and look at it ults. You know, it's not looking good for Venom.
It isn't.
You know, they got a minute and a half left.
I really want to see ELO switch off. You know, the Widow worked really well last round on the second point for a little while, but he's not getting the picks that he needs, especially with Jazzahaza putting in so much work on this Mercy right now with these reses. They've all been on point. Pulse Bomb goes out. That's not going to land anywhere. That might be an issue, but they need to be careful because Constipu still has this barrage. And like I said, I want to see ELO switch off. I don't feel like he's getting the value that he really can. Wow, and as I speak about it, Constipu goes crazy on the Pharaoh once again, getting Jazzahaza in the back line.
Alright, Carlos was able to sneak in and get a little bit of progress there on the bar. I don't know if it'll help him in the long run, but he's helped their team a little bit in capturing that point if they're able to make one last push here.
One last push
Yeah,
might be all that they have.
But all you have with Elo switch going on to that Junkrat, he's got his retire ready to go. Jez also coming in with that Valkyrie. So two ults, two valuable ults that you can use. You know, Elo gets a couple picks with that tire. Jazza, but Elo goes down again, and Jazz is probably gonna have to use his res, bring him back up. But Elo coming in with a kill. Midas taking Sphinx out of his mech, and Ryujin looking to take control, but Venom is definitely coming out the point and trying to contest. Sound barrier here coming out from Midas, and we'll see what Venom can do. But there's just not enough. Their tanks are down. Their DPS is down.
Yep, right now the kill feed definitely red as overtime ticks down. Sphinx's final self-destruct to clear them from the point. And it looks like we are going to see Ryujin take our first map here on Horizon. And no doubt going to be getting another look at that great barrage to kick off the first point by Constipu. And check this out, he gets this up before most of his team has any ult charge really to get, and just barrels and goes through a defense matrix, through an Orisa shield, and takes out almost the entire team. Of course, not solo. His team was there to help him out.
Yeah, it all kicked off with that great Reinhardt charge to break that team. He ran right into the middle of them, snapped the Torbjorn, and it was just hell from that point.
So our map pool from here on out, I do believe, is Ilios and King's Row. So I will be getting in contact with them to make sure that they are ready for what comes next. In the meantime, what does Venom Esports have to do to shut down Constipu on this Pharah?
Well, first of all, they ran on a map that actually favors her, Widowmaker. And Elo was getting picks, he was getting kills. I didn't see him kill Constipu on that far, so what that tells me is that Constipu is taking cover and only the poke shots, and that makes it very, very difficult for anybody to kill him. So what that means is you got to run. You need a Zenyatta for sure. It's my favorite. You run the Soldier Tracer, right? You run Soldier Tracer, you run a Diva, you run a Winston. That's the classic. And you can run a Mercy, and now instead of a Lucio, if you wanted to, especially on like King's Row. But you want the Diva, you want the Discord. You know, having 2 hit scans just makes it easier to kill. Pharah, Sombra can work because she can hack her, and she can't fly up and she can get the high ground. But I mean, you need the Discord and you need to focus her. You need to play indoors and you need to not let her just have open space.
Very true, very true. ELO, I definitely hope they don't try and rely on ELO's Widow for too long. As we saw in that attack, it just wasn't enough to punch through. Fantastic Widow. I mean, that was it was a lot of fun to watch him on that second point. I think he got like what 2 or 3 kills in quick succession, sitting up on that high ground, and then he got 1 while he was grappling across the point. That was pretty impressive.
So, are we going to King's Row next?
There is exactly where we are going to be going, ladies and gentlemen. King's Row is looking to be our next place to fight.
Battle, duke it out. 1v1, mano y mano. Well, manos y manos, because there's 6 manos, I guess. On each side. Yeah.
Okay.
She said
Assault escorts
SWAT
are
team.
always going to be my favorite maps on this one. It's where you can really see the mechanics of this game shine, and where the teams can go the hardest. So this, if they were to go with that Widow pick, this is her chance. Like, Horizon's a tough map to play her on. This is her chance, if they're going to run that, to really make a difference.
My question is, how much Junkrat are we gonna see, and how fast?
Alrighty, there we are, ladies and gentlemen, here at King's Row, the lovely, lovely King's Row. Home to the favorite map of many an Overwatch player. You can be so versatile with your comps attacking on both, you can be versatile with your comps on both attack and defense. Like we were discussing earlier, wouldn't be surprised to see ELO bring that Widowmaker out on attack. Wouldn't be surprised to see Sphinx roll over to a Hanzo here and there. Neither of these would really surprise me too much. But I kind of want to see, just for fun, I really do want to see Moon bring out that Junkrat. But it looks like he's going to play the Reinhardt. I want to see him play his Junkrat. I've seen him play his Junkrat before. It's a lot of fun. He's really, really good at tossing those concussive mines over walls and around corners to get that last bit of damage in. So I would love to see some of that.
Yeah, but Ryujin coming out here, one of my favorite comps to run with the Mei here on King's Row. You know, you wall them off, you send your Tracer, and you just destroy them. But either coming out here on that Widow again, Moon, Shudder, you need to wish. Moon's gonna come back on that Junkrat. He's gonna take some damage, he's gonna get low, but he's gonna get healed up. But Goldie already with some charge here. Gotta be careful not to get sniped by that Widow. And Sphinx, he's gonna try and charge in here. The wall goes up, but yeah, no, it's a shield battle, and it looks like Ryujin's winning it.
There's the first pick from
Moon
Haxor.
is trying to make that pick from the right side.
Oh, looks like Moon listened to me, and he did switch over to the Junkrat. This makes me super happy. Look at him making a home inside that little hotel. Oh, but Wad on the Mei is going to come in with a little bit of an icicle to the face, and he's going to take him out of the fight completely. Venom Esports failed first attempt.
Wad and Contabu showing some flexibility. Contabu, who's just the great Farah, the Farah that carried the game last map for Ryujin. He's now playing that with Mercy. So I'm liking the flexibility. Goldie's still got a lot of charge here over on the left side of the Mandata statue. And we're going to see if they engage, and Goldie gets a pick onto Jazza.
Oh, this is bad. They've been split.
Behind. And Sphinx, he's battling Carlos Fox on that Reinhardt. And Sphinx, oh, is he going to win it? Is he going to win it? Yes, he's going to win it with the help of his team. And Ryujin coming in again, cleaning up, taking names, putting body tags on them, and shipping them to the morgue, because Ryujin's just killing it. And they got a ton of ults. Venom's just, they're just sucking wind, man. They don't got anything to do. And they got 2 minutes left, so I mean, they can build up some ults, but it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, very true. Venom Esports having a little bit of difficulty, but I've seen Venom Esports as a team overcome similar matches to this in the past, so I wouldn't be surprised to see an upset and see them grab the point in one fluid push. But I'm gonna want to see them save up their ultimates. They've been spinning them a little bit haphazardly. Like you said earlier, ult economy definitely has been in favor of Ryujin almost this entire fight, and they need to get Wad off of the point. He's been one of the biggest issues as they come in, splitting the team and just surviving in general as Maze do. But earlier we saw them push in and try and push left into the hotel, and that wall went up right in between them. They took out the Reinhardt on the left, and then the rest of the team was at a disadvantage for the rest of the fight. And unless they can find a way to deal with the Mei, they will not get to the point.
Nilo popping his wall hacks, so we'll see. And Moon taking out Sphinx on the Reinhardt. Either getting pick on the Contabu, using the wall hacks like I said before. And Venom, you said it before, you know, they take advantage of weakness and push up. But Ryujin coming back, Goldie and Haxor both with kills. Jazzer rezzing it, but Goldie coming, he's got a lot of charge again, man.
Oh man, a beautiful headshot from
moly.
ELO onto Goldie before he gets hit by the charge. Now we have an Earth Shatter ready. There goes the Graviton coming out from Goldie, but is he gonna grab anything? Yes, Haxor will get 2 with the Pulse Bomb. I think that might be the end of this push. Jake has the Graviton, but please, Jake, don't use it.
Goldie goes down again. Goldie gets domed again.
ELO putting in work on this Widowmaker, as I said he could. This is their final push, 20 seconds left. They will not have much more other than this one. They have an Earth Shatter, they have a Graviton, no ultimates on the side of Ryujin. This is their chance. There's a Graviton, it grabs 2. Not enough, the shield's up, so the Earth Shatter doesn't grab anything, but the charge will come through. Haxor gets the kill on a Jazzahazo, so Mercy goes down soon. That's problematic, but ELO still coming in with the headshots, and if he can keep his team at the advantage, this could be possible, but he's getting chased down by a Mercy. The Battle Mercy is going to help take him out, but Haxor's going to be the one to put the nail into the coffin as Constipu takes out Midas on the point. And the Riptire is going to grab 3. Ooh. That could be huge, but ELO does not have enough health to stay on the point. So round 1 will fall. They did get the first tick, So they didn't come out of this empty-handed. They did get percentage on the point. We will have to see Ryujin beat that, and I can't help but to think we're going to see Constipu and Farah.
I've said it once and I've said it again. I have watched so many of the tensest games come down to a Mei ulting on overtime, and this is no different, especially with the way that buff happened for her range. That Blizzard is a great way to just completely negate any and all pushes.
Temple of Anubis, Volskaya.
Not to mention that, but the self-sustain that you can have on a Mei is absolutely insane. You have the wall to completely get yourself out of fights. You have your ice block to heal yourself as well as take you out of the fight. I mean, she's probably one of the best control point heroes in my opinion. When it comes to taking or holding a point, Mei is extremely powerful. Let's see what we've got here. ELO is going to go for the defensive Widow. This is something that they can get penalized for. We might be seeing a Widow-Widow battle. I might be asking for too much, but it might happen, and I'm really hoping it. He's got the Golden Widow. He's got the Golden Widow gun. So I'm expecting Killer Owen to come through and give me this Widow v Widow battle here, because I want to see if he can top ELO Earth, who's just been doming heads all day. It doesn't look like it. He's jumping back down. Don't disappoint me. Oh, there he is, back onto the Lucio. I guess you do need a healer. I guess it is crucial. But hey, Haxor, how you doing, buddy? Switching over to the Widow for me, huh? Nope, just a double troll, I think. Nope, he's... Oh no, very low. Those grenades from ELO Moonshot gonna help out. He gets 20% of his ult already. And now it's a battle. Which Widow is gonna shoot who first? Axor is getting quite fancy with his Widow, but they're being able to push them off of the point quite well. Jamie coming down with a double kill onto Sphinx and Goldie, and they are up on bodies right now. Venom quite readily handling that push. And we saw the same thing happen. The team is separated, and now they're super separated. Constipu and Killer Owen stuck over behind the team in something that I would call quite the disadvantageous position. It's a 4v5 on the point.
It's a huge shatter coming in for Sphinx. That was a humongous. C9?
That was a great job on Sphinx creating that space. He sat on that point and he took it. He was pushing on real hard with those charges.
Let's see what the play of the game is. Is this going to be the pulse bomb onto the Riptire? No, it's not. It's going to be the double instead of the Graviton. And this was basically the play that took down their numbers enough to make it difficult for them on their push. On that final push where they had the advantage. And it looks like that will be the conclusion of our first quarterfinals match. Great showing by both teams, but Ryujin Esports just coming out on top in the end. So we will see Ryujin Esports continue on to the semifinals. It looks like we've also had Cypher come out on top of Gill Esports. They won 2-0 over them. We still have Rap Rumino and Phoenix Rising going on.
Well as Nomads and Watt Gaming.
Yes, and I believe that Nomads and Watt Gaming actually resulted in a forfeit. Watt Gaming has said that he's going to be forfeiting his match. So it will be Cypher versus Nomads and Ryujin versus the victor of Rap Rumino and Phoenix Rising. We're gonna have to wait on the results of those two matches in order to advance. Our next stream will be the start of the semifinals, as all other matches are currently underway. So make sure you guys stay tuned. I'm sure it won't take more than 45 minutes or so. In the meantime, enjoy the music. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our semifinals today. We've got Phoenix Rising taking on Ryujin Esports. We just saw Ryujin Esports take on Venom Esports, and they showed quite the dominance there. We're starting off in Nepal, so expect to see some fair at some point. Not just yet. Joining me, of course, for the games are Akpo and Maggie.
Yeah, Maggie, I don't know about you, but I'm really excited to see Ryujin play again. Wad coming out of here on that May on King's Row last match was really he put on a clinic, and I'm excited to see him coming out here again on Sanctum. And the cool thing about Sanctum is it's actually really good for those May walls because you can actually use them to scale the pit and also wall people off. So definitely a good choice here.
And we're seeing another Junkrat come out. They're running all defensive heroes for their DPS with a Zarya to help out the Reinhardt. Oh, then there you go. That is where Junkrat comes in handy. He has shut down the flanker. It is such a quick pick for Junkrat to take out tracers like that.
So that is Ryujin Esports taking the upper hand off the bat. It looks like Askavorbik going to be the first one to take to the skies. He switches off to the Pharah, notices no hit scan, and he's going to try and take advantage of that. Hunter on the soldier taking out Haxor. So we're no longer going to get to see that spam damage, and now is their chance. Really, they got the pick up. They have the Pharah in the sky, so they have the advantage since nobody really except for Wad can do any real damage to Askavorbik, so he needs to be careful of her. That's all he really needs to pay attention to. And the tack visor from Hunter.
Coming out with the beautiful... No, Hunter coming out with a beautiful attack visor and just cleaning up and really allowing Phoenix Rising to solidify here on this point.
Alright, so now we're gonna have to see Ryujin get some sort of entry back onto the point. Haxor's gonna get the first pick on the commander, but Jay's gonna pick him straight back up. But it seems like it was almost planned as Goldie takes Jay out of the fight. They now have no healer with a res, and commander falls to the Zenyatta. So advantage definitely going to Ryujin Esports, given that they can hold it and keep it.
Haxor's now rolling on that McCree, and that was a quick drop. He definitely had her in his sights. That was a really great way to just take control of that upper area.
You'll often find that teams that are good at running Pharah are also going to be pretty good at countering Pharah in a lot of situations. Graviton's about to come out. There it is. The entire team's there. What do we got to pair with it? It looks like we got a Blizzard. Just put them all up into a Graviton. Let Sphinx swing away. And Konsaku's going to go ahead and get a kill for himself as well. But Ryujin with the superior choke control only used 2 ultimates there, so they still have 3, and they've almost got 4. So they still have pretty much tantamount ult economy to Phoenix Rising.
And he walls them off again. Wide walls are just so on point. And Sphinx come in, just hammer down. Y'all, everybody's dead. All my friends are dead. That's basically what it is.
There goes the Jedi looking for a target, but he's not going to find anything. Looks like the L2s coming in from Raksu are going to land, so Hexor will not be able to get the kills that he was wishing for.
Now we're going to see Wad try to stall this out.
Oh, yeah, fantastic job doing so far, though. Oh, no. There it is. Konsaku sacrificing himself. Not sure.
Oh, the fire strike.
Not sure if that was a great decision on the side of Konsaku. Gets himself killed. Now the team's staggered coming into the point. They're already at 90%, so the push was worth it a little bit, I guess.
There's 2 more fights left, maybe 3 if Phoenix Rising is able to maintain it. But Phoenix Rising, they do have that pulse bomb. They do have that Valkyrie coming up on a shatter. So, but Wad, he's gonna come in here. He's got that Blizzard again. And Phoenix Rising, they don't have the Diva to stop it. They look for it to really do a number on them.
Askavorbik was trying to get behind.
We got Commander. He's got his Earthshatter ready to go, and Sphinx is almost there. Oh, he is. That Zarya bubble blocked the Earthshatter. Sphinx was point blank with it, and he was able to block line of sight for the rest of his team and keep everyone from getting staggered.
Wad, noticing that the point was free to take, just waltzed on over. Roadhog tried to jump over to help out, but he had no health left and wasn't even focused on that Mei. So we're gonna see this build up. We have a Blizzard, and we got a Graviton, ladies and gentlemen. And I think that's going to be the match, going to Ryujin. And Ryujin Esports is going to, I wouldn't say dominantly. It was definitely a neck and neck fight the whole way through, but they seem to have an answer for whatever comes their way. Will Phoenix Rising be able to figure out a way to deal with this combination of Wad and Constipu? Just the reses and how gutsy Constipu plays as a Mercy, combined with how dangerous Wad is on this Mei.
I'm seeing a lot of great work from Sphinx and Goldie. They have it locked down. I have yet to watch Commander Hawk pull off any sort of valuable Earth Shatter. Whether it's Goldie watching Sphinx's back or Sphinx holding the line with the barrier, he does not let anything through.
Very important to have tanks like that in your lineup. First on the point's going to be Phoenix Rising. The question is, are they going to be able to make anything of this superior positioning? Great boop onto Sphinx, getting him out of the fight. They remove the shield, but he's quick to bounce back. Doesn't look like any either team's
coming up. Actually just taking, putting out so much damage everywhere. Ivor just destroying everything. He's just blasting away and just melting them.
Needs to be careful feeding that Zarya bubble of Goldie. They're getting a little bit greedy, a little bit aggressive here. Would hate to see anybody get caught out of position for the entirety of the team. There it is, the Mei wall comes up. Walls out Mega, but some great Lucio work there to get out of the way. We have the Deadeye ready on the side. It looks like the Transcendence is going to be the initiation.
Oh no, looks like Wad has killed their Zenyatta, walled them off in the enemy team with the Rydart. It is gonna break their team in half.
Oh.
Brutal. Hawk's killing Kill Rowan on that Zen twice in a row. He killed him and then he got res, then he killed him again. And he's just swinging away and just smashing heads.
Oh man, but he's gonna feed that Zarya up just a little bit. And then the great wall from Wad to stop the charge. And a very, very weak Commander Hawks is surviving by the skin of his teeth.
Up. And Goldie actually blowing himself up, getting so close to the Reinhardt shield, actually the splash damage, damaging him and killing him in the process.
Phoenix has learned their lesson. They are, like, they spot the Mei. They do not let her get away with anything. That McCree is ready and waiting. He's watching where she's poking from and just picking her off. I'm seeing a wasted Graviton there.
Fusion actually coming on here with 3 DPS and 1 healer. Interesting choice.
Great Blizzard coming out from Wad, stopping Commander in his tracks long enough for Haxor to help deal with him. Ryujin needs to figure out some way to flip this point back in their favor. It looks like it might finally be happening, but 99% almost, 98% built up for Phoenix Rising. And Phoenix Rising is looking to answer back with a point of their own.
They're looking to get a point of their own and they have the ult to back it up, Shadow.
The question is, they need to be able to use them in the right pattern, right combination, so they don't use them all too quickly. Ask of Vorbit, the only one alive on point. He's going to be able to throw out that Death Blossom now, but there's nobody there for him to get. Everybody else was already either dead or evacuated the point.
Oh. Hawk's coming in actually pinning the Mercy. And making...
Wow, Hunter actually
going down.
Hunter
got
doing
2 though.
A crazy good move there. Haxor was about to pull the trigger on a 4-man Deadeye. He turned and got the quick shots onto him.
And then, as I always like to say, when it happens to me in quick play, Genji ulted for some reason. Was quickly taken out by Phoenix Rising.
Well, the question is Ryujin going to go back to... Yeah, they're going to actually have... two healers. Because they switched off. They had 3 DPS and 1 healer. And it was Lucio, it wasn't a Mercy.
Definitely a smarter decision to go with the two. But the DPS characters on both of these teams are a little bit too, well, flexible on the side of Ryujin. I mean, they're DPSing with a Junkrat and a Mei. I would like to see a more traditional DPS character come out, maybe a Reaper, possibly a Pharah. I'd like to see Constipu back on Pharah, especially here on this map. Pharah can be so useful with controlling these small choke points you have to come through. It looks like Askaborb is going to do all the controlling of the choke points here. As he gets our first kill and almost grabs himself a second, but gets walled off. He is in dangerous territory. The lifesteal is coming through for him.
But Hunter just getting dink after dink after dink. Just tearing through Ryujin.
Phoenix Rising showing Ryujin that they may not have as easy a ride through this tournament as they may have thought. Both of these teams prior to this match have gone undefeated within the tournament. So they've both 2-0'd their opponents in every match that they have played.
And they're both doing really well.
Phoenix gave up the point here. They're going to try to push in, but looks like they have already let the team through, and the dangerous part of letting a Junkrat into a small space is showing itself. It is super hard to get him out. Look at that. They're able to put a lot of damage that can't be healed.
Not to mention that, but in a small space like that, the grenades that miss always hit. They hit the wall, they bounce right back, they sit on the floor, and you never really know. After 5 or 6 shots, that whole room becomes a minefield.
I think where Ryujin was going to start with is you wanted the team they had a Mei and they had a Junkrat. It's a really good team to hold the point. What I would have recommended to see them go right for it and then wall off one of the sides, so that forcing that team to engage them in one choke. Now that they've switched, Constipu's no longer running Mercy. They're on a Tracer, and you're seeing a more traditional, like you got a DPS and then you got your Junkrat doing the crazy stuff. So that change is really working out for them. They're moving a lot lighter on their feet.
Actually coming out, really tearing Phoenix Rising apart. Coming in, but you do have Valkyries coming from both sides. Both Reinhardts do have their shatters. Milani does have his Sound Barrier kill on, of course, just using it. And Katsu coming up on his Pulse Bomb. He's actually going to get head flashbang to end the headshot by Hunter. And, Reaper, Death Blossom coming out, Shatter comes out.
Looks like the kills are being about even right now. Sphinx does fall. So the kills are now definitely in favor of Phoenix. And one thing that I was going to say earlier is that we've seen Ryujin be super successful with halting Phoenix's pushes, but only when they jump on them to choke. You see here, they've let them into the point a little bit, and Phoenix is able to separate them and focus them down just a little bit better. I was going to say it right as they were going along that left path, but it was a smart move by them to choose the path of least resistance, not try and push through the choke that they just failed on, but instead go the exact opposite way, thus forcing Ryujin to come off of the high ground onto the point to fight them. And in Overwatch, if you can determine where a fight happens, oh man, Phoenix Rising, Hunter almost grabbing a huge Deadeye, not going to be able to get it, but Askaborb is going to come in and steal all the kills, and an airborne Junkrat will fall to a Reaper. Looks like that might be the end of that fight. 62% and building for Phoenix Rising as Mega looks to take his team onto the next map and finish it here. Let's see if Ryujin has anything to say about that.
Look for Commander to come out with a nice Earth Shatter here. If Askaborb can get that shield down, Commander can get him and force him in and shatter him. But the Red Tire coming out here for Haxor. But it's actually going to stay on. We're actually going to take it out. Samurai is coming on for both sides. Both of the Mercies are going to ult as well. And Sphinx is going to take out his counterpart. And a huge shatter coming in from Sphinx.
Sphinx is not letting Norbert get away with any of those Death Blossoms. He is ready with that Earth Shatter as soon as he drops.
Constipu now going to be the savior of the game. He's got the Pulse Bomb at the ready, but will he need it? They're going to take it. 99% already built up for Phoenix Rising. Mercy's in trouble. There goes Jay. He's going to fall. McCree is going to be next. There's the stagger. 90% now, and it's a 4v6.
That might be it.
This is going to be a very tentative decision. They're going to have to stagger themselves if they want to get in, but the pulse bomb comes out early onto the Reinhardt, and he's going to get the stagger. He is. Constapoo with possibly the game-ending kill. Commander Hawks falls there
We're
early.
desperately trying to get the overtime. Oh.
Jay will get the res, but that's going to be all she wrote. Ladies and gentlemen, as Ryujin takes Nepal over Phoenix Rising in a quite a nail biter of a finisher there.
Shadow, you know the resolution's bad on the stream, right?
I do apologize for the resolution, but it is about as good as it is going to get in order to keep the gameplay smoother and not have it drop multitudes of frames. It's a temporary thing, and it won't happen in the
Shadow,
future.
We're just like other people. We love to sing, we love to dance. We're human. Sometimes very human.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we are going to be going to Dorado for our next map. So we are going to go ahead and load that one in and get started as soon as possible. We do have Ryujin facing off against Phoenix Rising. We just saw them go head to head, and it was a pretty even battle the whole way through. I believe it was a 2-1 win in favor of Ryujin, but the final map went to 99-99. Finished in a bit of a tiny overtime, but for the most part, we've seen this seesaw effect of who has the upper hand, who has the ult economy, and these two teams are fairly evenly matched. I'm impressed by both showings.
Yeah, I've been especially impressed by Hunter, who's been playing that hit scan, and also Raxu, who's coming in on that Zarya and been very, very successful in his building of grabs.
All right. teams make some funny switches on us.
I am with you on that one.
Sphinx
But,
loves
yeah.
to show that Hanzo. I want him to play it. I want him to bring it on out. I want to see his Hanzo.
I dare you.
Right? Gonna keep teasing us with it. Come on, man. Ask of Orbit onto the Soldier. No surprise there. Of course, Mega onto the Lucio, as he quite frequently decides to play. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw him switch over to a Zenyatta at some point, especially if Constipu decides to bring out that Pharah on attack. But it looks like Constipu's gonna go to a Reinhardt? Is he seriously the ultimate flex? Can he play DPS, healer, and tank? Is he the triple threat that is so rare to find? Alright, here we go. We're off to the races, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like Hunter's gonna grab a quick double out the gate onto Constipu and Haxer with the concussion mines. They were not prepared for that. They did not check the street before they crossed, and they got hit by a bus.
And it's what we like to call a little shock stick to wake up the players, let them know, hey, we're here. Keep your eyes open.
Oh man, great play by Ask of Orbit and Hunter to get Haxer on that flank. The concussion mine combined with the Helix rocket can take out any 200 hero quite quickly.
We're goalie actually gonna come here on to Raxu. Raxu's gonna get rezzed by Jaywalker. But Hunter putting in so much damage into that Rancho, and he's really making a problem for him.
Ooh, great rockets from Constipu to take out Jaywalker to get the initiation onto this roll. If he can take out that Junkrat, he takes out a lot of the DPS coming out, and there he goes. Hunter's gonna fall to the rockets of Constipu once again, and they don't have anybody to deal with him. He has the ability to just reign supreme right now, and that's gonna be all she wrote. And once again, we are seeing Constipu. You let him go crazy, and your team is gonna pay for it.
Yeah, so you got Haxor just blinking around, buzzing like a bee, and just trying to sting somebody. But he actually does get Hunter down, so Jay's forced to use his res. But Constantly putting a lot of pressure onto Acid Orbit. We'll see if he Acid Orbit can burst down this pharmacy and really get his team an advantage.
Oh man, the concussion mine from Hunter.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful. But Goldie, ooh, a Shadow Barrage.
That Shadow Barrage is gonna grab 3, and it's gonna help grab the 4th. Looks like Jay's gonna go ahead and take Constipu out, but at the cost of his own life.
Sphinx and Goldie have switched up the Reinhardt and the off tank, and it looks like Goldie is just as good on those Earth Shatter timings. He's ready and waiting, and Constipu, effort the good on the Pharah, ready to drop it.
Sounded like attack
Seeing
vibes are
Orbit
coming out
right
from
now
Ask
with
of
taking the
Orbit.
high ground.
And he'll be putting in some work on that one, grabbing Constipu Killer and Goldie. That's going to be a push back. They're going to grab Wad on the way out. So Phoenix Rising pushing them back, but 3 minutes and 45 seconds, and they don't have that far to go to get to the second point. So they could potentially walk in with 4.5 plus going into this next point, as long as they can get this team fight in. 4 minutes plus, more likely.
A lot of where these games can switch quickly is how fast you can take high ground or how well you can hold it. Right now we've got Orbit and Jay up top with the soldier, and you see quickly they jump on him. He is gone. They do not want him up there. They take him out. They use an ult and a Winston barrier to push him off.
Looks like
Yeah,
Wad with
that's
the great
just-
double res there.
Acid Orbit just trying to clean up, but that Lucio being too evasive, getting healed up by his Mercy as well. So, Phoenix Rising. No, excuse me, Region. Looking to group up and push here up top. They can use their dive. They just switched to dive. I think that's why they had Sphinx on the Diva, because they knew they were going to have to switch to dive anyway at second point. Because dive is so much, there's so much verticality second point that you kind of want to run dive. So that's kind of why they made that change, and Constable was able to make that easy switch to Genji. But Constable going to pull out that blade actually and get 2 kills. He gets Hunter and Jaywalker. That's huge. Gonna get Raxu. Dude, he's just tearing it up. Haxor coming in with a kill on Active Orbit. And Commander Hawks with a beautiful fire strike onto Killer Owen.
Regardless of all of that, though, it doesn't seem like it's going to be enough. They will get the push onto the second point, so they're coming in with a 3.5-minute time bank onto this third point. So far, we've seen quite a fantastic push from Ryujin. Good moments of defense coming out from Phoenix Rising, but nothing truly colossal or jaw-dropping just yet. Now's their chance. When it comes to inside, the defense definitely has the upper hand. They're going to have the respawn advantage pretty soon. And they have, I would say, the wall advantage. You have the high ground is much more accessible, and you kind of have the ability to peek around these corners much better than the opposition can.
Looks like Sphinx is a little too early on that the Diva Bomb, and it's going to be wasted as it goes off in the air. Phoenix is doing a good job of staying on this payload right now. The Winston is keeping any people from sitting on and contesting.
Yeah, but Haxor coming on the side, he's gonna have that pulse bomb. So we'll see, maybe he sticks it onto Jaywalker. I mean, do you stick Jaywalker, you go, oh, but he's gonna massacre him because he's gonna be able to finish the kill. Yes, Sphinx coming in with the boom.
Doesn't even need the pulse bomb.
Pulse bomb into and Steinberg coming out afraid of the side of Phoenix Rising. And we'll see if Haxor can best Hunter in that Tracer battle that he just lost previously. He's not worried about that. He's going to try and get Mega Malini, but he just can't seem to find enough damage to finish anybody off.
Hunter, however, is going to have the wonderful dragon to take Sphinx out. Go for it.
Yeah. Mercy, their Jaywalker on Mercy is getting a lot of flack from the enemy team, but Mega is doing a really good job whenever their Mercy gets picked, holding the line long enough. He's done it a couple times, giving a sound barrier to his team and giving their Mercy enough time to get back before anything is really lost. It's really impressive to see how fast that Mega's able to hold this team off.
If you ever wonder what good Lucio play on console looks like, we've got 2 great examples right now, both Killer and Mega using that new Lucio speed to their advantage. I love it. The double Reinhardt, they knock each other down. The pulse bomb takes out the majority of the health bar, but it looks like he will fall. Jay's gonna get Commander back into the fight. It's not looking right now like Ryujin has too much of an issue. They will continue to push the payload. They have the Valkyrie mode for this next fight, so expect to see that popped out. Ask of Orbit and Constipu are going to be taking to the skies for those Pharah battles.
Yeah, but the difference is Phoenix Rising has 4 ults, and Ryujin only doesn't really has 1. They have 1.
Very true. We'll see how these teams use them. Looks like the Valkyrie mode is going to be pulled out from Wad as he gets the res onto Constipu. Haxor and Killer grabbing a couple of kills of their own. The Valkyrie mode comes out from Jaywalker as well.
Commander's getting a lot of heat from Haxor, but it looks like his team's finally here to help him out. He's got his Earth Shatter ready to go. Let's see if he can have the patience to find the right time to use it.
Don't want to hold that until the overtime because there's definitely going to be one. Beat gets dropped by Killer Owen as the time runs out and 0 seconds left. Overtime ticker begins. The charge from Commander gets pushed off course by looked like Killer there. Hunter does land his pulse bomb onto Goldie, taking him out of the fight. The barrage comes in from Constipu, but doesn't find any kills. Never mind, he will grab Ask of Orbit. Self-destruct coming in. The shield is there, but he gets booped out of the way, and he's gonna get taken out. So Sphinx does get a kill there. But we are going to need to see Ryujin get more eliminations than they've already gotten if they want to take this out, because that Raxu is going to be a problem. He has this Primal Rage ready, so he can continue to contest this point as long as he can stay on it. But he's in the air a little bit too high right now. And as his health bar dwindles, the respawns need to come in for Phoenix Rising.
And Haxor's just been all over the place trying to contest, trying to just burst people down. He throws a pulse bomb in, not really going to catch anything. The soundbite is going to come out for the side of Phoenix Rising, trying to keep everybody alive, trying to keep this going. But Goldie's going to block that shatter. That was nice. But they seem to end it.
Constipu with the barrage to solidify the push.
I am constantly amazed with how well those tanks are doing. Constipu is you wish you had teams like this more often. Like Constipu is pushing in pressure with the Pharah, even though if they're not getting the hit, they're certainly putting in the damage, and then that gives the tanks ample space. Like they're really just getting whatever they want in terms of the objective. They're hopping on there, they're pushing it out. A lot of times when you have the payload map, what you want to do is let them push it through a bit and then take the payload hostage, because newsflash, the payload is the best tank in the game. It heals your team and it never loses its shield. So taking that advantage away from the enemy team is one of the first things you want to do when you're on the defense, and Ryujin just isn't going to let them do it.
I feel like that's actually going to be something that Ryujin themselves is going to be really good at. We've seen them in matches prior to this with that just dominating choke control, where they've consistently put teams into chokeholds as far as trying to get back to the point or back to the objective, and just completely dominated the playing field when it comes to those close quarters team fights.
Yeah, but coming out, you got looks showing Farah's on both sides. Man, you know, Farah's well, it's Farah, McCree, and we have mirror comps. Question mark. Question mark.
Mirror comps are exactly what we have. Constipu on the defensive fair, definitely going to be Hunter's job to help Avorbit in taking her down. Question is, will he be able to land the shots?
Dude, Haxor landed every single shot, and just because of the range to drop off on McCree, he wasn't able to finish her off. He's a lot closer now, and he's going to get the headshot on Avorbit and finish her off.
And
he's looking for the Mercy. He's going for the flank.
Oh, there it is. That
He's
res
gotta be careful.
Farah is going to be giving him trouble.
Bends the hammer on the Mercy. I love it. Gets around her. Man, he's just in the perfect spot. Nobody knows he's there. When the Desire finally knows he's there. Ooh, gets her low too.
Gets her actually low, but in the end, Zarya's just going to punch her way through McCree. Haxor will fall, and it looks like he didn't have much of a team with him on the point, so even winning that fight with that Zarya would have been questionable, as he would have just been cleared off. But Hunter now, being the McCree of my dreams, landing those headshots onto Goldie time after time. Now he's looking for the kills onto Killer. He's going to go ahead and help Avorbit succeed there. So Phoenix Rising pushing through El Dorado much quicker than we saw Ryujin do it.
Ooh, looks like we have someone is not in the game. Killer is left.
Ladies and gentlemen, a quick pause while we try and situate the disconnection and get him back on into the stream and back on into the game.
All right.
We're just like other people. We love to sing, we love to dance. We're human. Sometimes very human.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back online. Looks like Killer was able to get back into the game, and oh man, utilizing the the pause to his advantage, it looked like. Hunter just immediately pops that Deadeye, and nobody was expecting it. And they're gonna get about halfway through, and sad story about Killer Owen getting DC'd here. There it is, the Deadeye from on high. Farah not going to be able to get out of the way, but the shield will keep him protected. He needs to stay as low as possible right now because Hunter was looking for his dome, and he got it. Looks like Haxor will be back up, though. Ask of Orbit with the res, and the ult economy definitely in favor of Phoenix Rising.
Hunter has not been afraid to use that Deadeye. I've seen him use multiple times to just kill the Mercy. I'm finding often now with the way New Mercy's changing that you really have to use some very powerful abilities to bring her down quickly, because she's going to get away very easily. And this is now the second or third time he's just popped the Deadeye just to kill her.
Delayed reaction from Ask of Orbit there on the Pharah. He had the chance to get a lot of kills there, but he decided to continue this fight with Haxor on the top after that Graviton had been spent instead of concussive blasting forward into position to take that. So he ulted from a little bit farther away, making it quite easy for Sphinx to react, get that defense matrix up, and fly in his face, mitigating the majority of that barrage's damage.
Yeah, so Ryujin actually going to come out here with that double hit game. And that Soldier McCree, they're both going to have their ult. So look for Ryujin to really get a team wipe or two in the next couple fights.
High Noon getting shut down. Hunter not being able to get it popped off, but he will expend that ultimate. And with that new patch, he now has no ult charge left on the Deadeye. Getting into that little chapel, trying to take out Jay. It looks like Constipu's gonna find a cheeky little spot on top of that doorway. Nice helix jump to get himself back up onto the high ground to challenge these tanks. We'll figure out if it was the right decision or not. Looks like he will get the kill on the commander. Ask of Orbit's in trouble as well. Phoenix Rising gonna need to pull out of this one hard as they get stomped back to their spawn. Goldie using his primal rage in a questionable situation, but utility not lost as more time ticks off the clock.
Did he use that just to get back to his team?
He used it at the spawn door choke, stepping them backwards, kind of
Wow,
delaying
they
their
just
push
double
anymore.
teamed them.
Oh, Haxor using the Deadeye, wasn't able to get the kill, but Sphinx was very quick on confirming it. They dropped the Mercy out.
Oh man, Raksu in such a great position. He had 100% on his charge, but now's the time when it's gonna really come in to make it or break it. 6 ultimates almost for Phoenix Rising coming online pretty soon. Hopefully 3 when it comes to this next encounter for Ryujin. We'll be able to see who comes out on top in just one moment as they approach this, not final, but one of the final 3 or 4 team fights left, so one of the final fights. They are deciding to go across from one high ground to the other to challenge everybody at the top there. The Graviton comes out. There's the Pulse Bomb. The Helix Rocket's going to be greedy, though, and grab most of the kills as Orbit does de-suit Sphinx, and he will fall to Raksu. And a non-consequential attack fires are coming out from Constipu. He's not going to be able to grab much as the payload was beneath him, as was much of the team of Phoenix Rising.
Alright, Phoenix still has a lot of ults left they can use, but it looks like Ryujin has the Valkyrie. They're going to use that right now. Goldie's waiting for the Primal Rage. He's holding that to see what he can contest with.
Like Constipu's just sitting up here, uncontested damage up top here on the bridge, and he's just tearing them. He's just getting all the kills, and Phoenix is just falling down. But Raksu here, he's not gonna stay alive. This is just a stagger.
And like I said, it's make it break it right now. 12 seconds left. Will Phoenix Rising get knocked off of their high horse, their undefeated record? Will they get taken out of the tournament here? 3 seconds left. Can anybody get there for overtime? Seems like the only person there is Ask of Orbit on the Tracer. He's gonna dip, dive, dance, and dodge as much as he can. Jaywalker is there as well on the Sombra. He's going to get taken out by Haxor, and it doesn't look like they're going to have the bodies on the point to sustain it, and they won't grab this second point. We will see Ryujin advance to the finals over Phoenix Rising.
Not missing shots. Think after think after think. Ridiculous.
Alrighty, so it looks like we will be heading into our next match soon enough.
Were they playing?
I believe it is Cypher and Frostbite are our next match. And as we set that up, guys, we will be right back.
We're just like other people. We love to sing, we love to dance. We're human. Sometimes very human.
That is all Frostbite. Or sorry, Cypher. Sungal, Dark Tiger, and Saudi are all Frostbite.
Yep,
Cypher.
I know.
Damn it.
Frostbite's blue, that'll be easy to remember.
We're just like other people. We love to sing, we love to dance. We're human. Sometimes very human.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for our second semi-final match. We've got Cypher gonna take it to the face of Frostbite. We are starting off on the same map, of course, which is going to be Nepal once again, joined by Akpo and Maggie for this cast. Thank you so much to the two of you guys for putting in the time, showing up and helping us put on this production. I'll have more shout outs and more thank yous as the stream continues.
Alrighty. I've had a bit less time to see how.
You're good.
Alright. I haven't had a lot of time to see both of these teams yet. But from the stuff that Frostbite's given us, I'm seeing a lot of what they like to run with their supports are Ana and Lucio. Haven't seen a lot of Ana yet, especially in this mercy-heavy Mercy heavy meta, and then we're seeing Reinhardt and D.Va for their tanks, and then we'll find out what they want to roll with their DPS here on Nepal.
They do need to be careful though. Nepal, not a favorite of a lot of the Frostbite players, but I know that Neg Fear is pretty deadly when we get into Sanctuary on that Lucio. I wouldn't be surprised to see Monkey Peroni bring out the Widowmaker. I'd actually invite him to do so. I'd love to see a Widowmaker on Nepal. That you can actually really utilize him pretty well, or utilize her, I'm sorry, on this point pretty well, as long as you can lock down those sightlines. But it looks like the Winston is going to be his choice. A little more suiting to his history of picks. So it looks like the dive comp coming out from Cypher, and a bit of a pseudo dive coming out from the side of Frostbite. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Cypher is in the red and Frostbite is in the blue. Beautiful work by Monkey Peroni, getting around into the backline, taking Dylan out of the fight, and now he's hunting down those healers. He's hunting down.
I'd argue that both of these teams really are true dive comps. You got all the pieces you want for a dive. You got a Lucio, you got a Winston, you got an off tank that can move fast, and you got DPS that can roll around. It's just that the dive on Frostbite, what they're going to want to go for first is the tanks. They've got a soldier to break down barriers, and they got a Reaper to push those tanks hard. The team for Cypher, they're going to want to focus more on those supports, and you're going to see that. They're going to be able to get easier picks on the supports with the Genji and the Pharah. It's all about who you're jumping first, but I think they both are very strong dive teams.
Going to go into the next push. It looks like they're going to be defending from the left of the choke. Camel and Crack sees it pretty early on. The barrage comes out, and although it does get a Jolis, it's not going to get much more. The team, however, is going to follow through. Cypher just cleaning up their side of the street here. Kill after kill, and I am curious to see, you say go after those tanks, with, you know, Dylan being able to break down the barrier and Q being able to really pump in that damage. But the problem is that they can't do anything against the tanks. The tanks are just a little bit too mobile. It's giving Q quite a difficult time on this Reaper.
Tiger, that is a wasted D.Va bomb. She shot it over the cliff and it left her exposed. Oya is bringing in with a heavy Death Blossom. Look at that. That just cleared all of the squishies in there. That's gone. Just gone. Swept off the table.
Looks like that might be the first take for Frostbite. 77, 79% built up. They're gonna need to take out Saudi Captain before they do anything else, though. He's got a barrage and he is not afraid to use it. Got that up. That's basically 2 barrages in one team fight. He chose to keep it. He's gonna sit here and do pick damage with those rockets until his team is ready to regroup and push again. Looks like they've chosen to push to the left, forcing them to the higher, more open area. And there it is. The barrage comes out right onto the Mercy. Gets the Lucio as well. Neg will fall. Agilis Akadikis also going to fall. So it looks like that's a nice triple from Saudi Captain. They're going to be able to capitalize on that, and Cypher will very, very quickly get the retake here, as all they have to do is take Joseph out at the moment. And it is not looking pretty right now.
Yeah, but coming in here, you have quite a few ultimates on the side of Frostbite. You do have that Valkyrie, which you have on the other side. You have a Sound Barrier, and you have a Shatter and Visor. So they're going to drop the beat, they're going to pop the Visor. But the Fuse is actually going to part the blade, but he's going to get shattered and charged. And D.Va bomb coming out here. Not going to get anything, but looks like Cypher again coming out on top here in this fight.
It looks like Dark Tiger will grab 2. He grabs the mech from Joseph as well as Camel and Crack, who will get rezzed by Akadikis. But looks like Q will fall to Monkey Peroni's Primal Rage, and right now, this is Frostbite's last chance. They've gotten the takeover, but they need to hold the point. right now. If they don't do that, then they are done for. 99% already built up, so it will be an instantaneous overtime if we see the switch over. Dark Tiger will get the kill. Sungo will as well. Saudi Captain coming in one with the zone. The kill feed's all red, and it looks like this might be it. A 6-to-1 contest on the point, and Dylan is doing as much as he can. Looks like Q will end up falling. Cypher will take it, and nobody there to trigger the overtime past what it was.
Saudi is doing a spectacular job of threat evaluation. Like, the first 2 barrages I was seeing coming out of them was straight on the Mercy. It was the focus, and then after that, it was just sweeping up the team. A lot of the teams now that, you know, relying so heavily on Mercy are also running into the problem that, like, once the Mercy's gone, you really lose your sustainability in that fight. And Saudi's taking advantage of that. Dropping that Mercy first means you get no resist. All that relentlessness that you can use with Mercy's res goes out the table, and you saw that the tanks were out of position. They're out of position, and they were able to be pinched on from the flanks.
An out of position tank is probably one of the easiest things to deal with on the side of most DPS players. It's an ult battery. They're big targets. It's not difficult to miss. Head boxes are usually pretty large, so not just out of position tanks, but it looks like out of position Soldier 76s as well. Great concussive blast coming out from Saudi Captain to pop. It looked like Dylan out of his little hiding spot, pop it up, hit him mid-air with a rocket, and then predicted with the rocket onto the ground. I believe we almost saw an environmental kill from Saudi onto Cube. He was able to dash back up onto the point.
Yeah, so coming in, you have a shadow coming out from Frostbite. On the other side, you do have a Dark Tiger so bad he has a mech back. So that will be good for Cypher to be able to hold this point. But look for Camo to come in, get the draw the barrier out of Monkey. Alright, he gets a nice shadow off. But Saudi comes back in, is just pushing so much damage. Actually boops off Quexla. Single gonna get the boop on the Camel and Cypher. Just total domination.
Yep, we're seeing similar choke control in Cypher as we did in Ryujin here on Nepal.
They only use 2 ultimates for that too.
That's what that's exactly what we saw Ryujin do with the Graviton Blizzard at this exact same spot. Looks like Dark Tiger will get that self-destruct out and take away Joseph's mech, which is huge because he has 2 options now. Looks like he's choosing the latter, but the former would have been to go back to spawn, switch off, switch back onto D.Va and get his mech back, so he would lose his ult charge if he were to do that.
Yeah, but Frostbite's gonna come around here onto the side, partial to point, but Q actually gonna get that nice pick on the side. He's gonna burst him down, but Joseph actually gets another pick onto Monkey. Attack vibes are coming out here from Dylan, and they're just gonna follow up, and Frostbite's gonna get to take this fight, and Dark Tiger Soul's just gonna.
Yeah, they have plenty of ults ready to go. Looks like Genji is ready with that Dragon Blade. Oh, Zenyatta has popped his Transcendence. That is going to be rough. You can't let go of that when there's ult still on the table. There it goes, like clockwork. Genji is ready with the Dragon Blade, and it's it. Like, Transcendence has to be saved for ults. If you use it for anything else, you are going to punish yourself for it.
Oh no! The barrage takes down the distracted Camel on Crack as the self-destruct on the point and the barrage up top are just a little bit too much for them to handle. Looks like the flip back will happen.
And so he's just tearing it up on this far. Just destroying him. He's landing hit every single rocket. And Cypher with saying with a vengeance. Making a statement here. and really doing well here in Nepal. Nice 2-0.
So there it is. Is that the, yep, the big Death Blossom from Q.
Reaper's always one of my favorite characters to play on King of the Hill. It is so much fun to be able to pull off ults like that, and it's you don't feel like you're taking yourself out of the team trying to get those, you know, dropping from below or above, press Q to win, Death Blossoms. Seeing Reaper on King of the Hill, he's an actual like threat. He's a very important part of the team to sit there on the point like that.
He's always a threat. I don't care. I mean, yeah, there are maps that he's not so great on, but on the right maps, you know, I'm thinking Temple of Anubis, I'm thinking Hollywood, you know, Third Point, you know, when it's really, you know, confined spaces, you can do a ton of damage and he can just tear through teams. You know, whether it's a Discord or being damage boosted by a Mercy, it'd be very, very good.
So we are waiting right now on the selection of the next map. I believe our options are Dorado or Temple of Anubis, and I want to see Temple of Anubis just because we haven't seen it yet. I think it would be a nice little spice up. I want to see some 2CP because we're bound to see 2CP in this final. These teams would be remiss if they weren't putting their opponents up to that kind of a challenge.
Yeah, so far the only 2CP we saw was the Horizon Lunar Colony, and I think both me and Stittle have both said not our favorite map. I'd love to see a more traditional 2CP.
And it is up to Frostbite, by the way. It's their pick.
When you think about it, when you look at these two teams, you know, both traditional 2CP are all Sombra maps, and you know, Neg plays a good Sombra for Frostbite and for Cypher.
So it looks like Frostbite has decided to go to a map style that is a little bit more familiar to them. They are not going to be taking us to Temple of Anubis, but instead we will be going back to Dorado for our second map. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, and that is going to be what we'll be playing out on if Frostbite is able to pull it out and get the victory here over Cypher on the roads of Dorado, the streets of Dorado there. We will be seeing Temple of Anubis as our tie-breaking match. Remember, guys, the winner of this match moves on to our finals. Our current prize pool sitting at $51. And if you think that's a small prize pool, why don't you help out and make it a little bit bigger? You can always go on, log on, and type in Overwatch 313 in the match arena to donate a free $1.
A free $1?
Mm-hmm. No reason not to log on and get that going. Courtesy of Match Arena. Looks like we are going to be going ahead and loading into El Dorado. So we will be getting this started up so soon. And what interesting strats do we want to see today? We saw some interesting, we've seen a lot of Pharahs. We haven't gotten to see any Hanzos. I would love to see a Hanzo goat come out. That would be an interesting turn of events. An Ana maybe?
Don't tease me. Watching these players make these picks and then swap, I'm like, no, go for it. I dare you. Do it. I want to see these variants. Haven't seen a whole lot of different characters being brought out.
The meta is quite powerful, as they say. Monkey Prony onto his monkey. Saudi Captain onto the Pharaoh, which is not a surprise at all. Not really any surprises, but I do want to see Sungul bring out this Ana. I really hope he's not switching off and trolling me right now. We are going to see Akadikis off of the Mercy. He's going to be playing the Zenyatta, and this is going to be a pretty good setup. They have Zenyatta and Q, so Akpo, like you were saying earlier, the real way to counter a good Pharah, you need that help from Zenyatta sometimes. Looks like Frostbite is
And
prepared
Junkrat.
for that one.
And Junkrat apparently is now a far counter, so what are you gonna do?
I mean, she's not going to be in the air all the time. If you get her low enough, the concussion mine is very easy to hit targets with within his range.
Dude, I've seen some Junkrat concussive mine snipes that are ridiculous. But anyway, coming here, Goliath's coming in here. He's gonna look to hit some nice boombox headshots, as they call them. But you look, he's gonna discord that far, and he's actually gonna get a shot on him. Q trying to follow up on that damage, but you know, that far she knows not to stay in the air for too long in one spot, and hitting a far as Zen is not exactly the easiest thing in the world. That's why you want a soldier to come help you out. But otherwise, with the Discord orb, you really can kill people quite easily.
A little bit of an overcommitment here from Saudi Captain. He's gonna get penalized from it. There it is, the Junkrat Farah counter, as Dylan takes Saudi out of the play. She hit the ground, and the second she did, he did a quick 90-degree turn throughout his concussion mine and capitalized on that low altitude Farah. Quick helix rocket into the back of, I believe that was Ilias, and he will be able to survive. But yeah, Saudi utilizing, and at this point, it's really, really, really advantageous for the Farah. You have the bridge, you have the hole in the middle of the bridge that you can get some cheeky rockets through. There's the clock tower to the right of it and the roofs to the left. So you do have a lot of cover if you decide to play this correctly, which it doesn't look like you will, because Dylan once again taking Saudi out of the fight. It's like attack visor is almost online, choosing not to use it. It was smart as he was so low on health there. Looks like Cypher will win this team fight.
Yeah, but Frostbite, they're coming back in. They got that Valkyrie. They're coming up on a grab. They also have that attack visor. So, you know, they have a couple of ults. Cypher doesn't really have any ults. You know, they have a couple coming up soon, but it doesn't matter because they're going to get that point.
Yeah, Frostbite, I was very intentional by Frostbite. If they had pushed onto that first point to try and contest it and hold it to any extent, they would have just fed what were already an almost daunting ult bank. At the same time, they would have been at a disadvantage because they would have had to stagger themselves in. So Intelligent not taking that fight, going ahead and conceding the point and deciding to mount their defense here in the second portion of Dorado.
The brush coming out here from Saudi Captain. He's gonna pick up two, get a third one, and that has to be that's Cypher just tearing everything up, destroying everybody. That's a team wipe. May not be a team kill technically, but they just killed every single person on the enemy team. But look at there are a lot of ults. They have a lot of ults on both sides for both sides. So this is gonna be one of those big rounds.
Not quite sure what happened.
Not sure what's going on there.
It looked like maybe an accidental Diva Bomb from Dark Tiger. Saudi knows.
That is what my, what we call a power play. I don't need this ult. You think I could take you?
Oh man, a ballsy Farah. Saudi takes on the tack visoring Q on the soldier and ends up winning the fight, but the kills, however, right now are coming in for Cypher. I'm sorry, for Frostbite, as they do finally get the defense. But the problem here is we've got 3 minutes left, a lot of time for Cypher to come back and get this. They have the Primal Rage, they have the Valkyrie, so they can have that prolonged team fight and just kind of allow Saudi to sit in the back, pepper and rockets, and use that to their advantage. Joseph, however, in Camel with huge crowd control. It seems that both teams have the answer to what they need right now. Which one is going to be able to utilize it and make it effective? Looks like the Graviton comes out for Joseph. It grabs the entire team. Here comes the Earth Shatter straight into it, and it's gonna be a whopper as he takes out the majority of the team. Q is there, the baby diva running away, but the stagger is real as she falls to the ground. And Frostbite with a stellar defense, having to commit all of their ultimates, but it paid off.
Yeah, they even managed to catch Saudi there with the Graviton there. She got caught in the gravity, and they were all cleared out really quickly. That's really unfortunate. I'm watching Saudi learn from their mistakes. They were initially very aggressive there on the first point, and it was constant. They were getting picked. You saw, got picked twice by Junkrat. Now Saudi is hanging back a lot farther. Even though they have the Discord, they are so far out of range that they are not really able to get brought down, and they're making those picks with the rockets from really far away, and then they come in just like that, really heavily with the ults after the key characters are down. So after the soldier was picked, Saudi comes in heavily and just drops the whole team. Doing a really good job learning from their mistakes here.
Yeah, Sardi's been getting the first pick every single fight. He had a Goliath last time. He got, I think, nagged the time before. He's just been tearing apart the support, the back lines for Frostbite. Or Frostbite. But yeah, look at Joseph here. Coming into the front lines, looking to get some damage, get some charge. He's up to 40, but Q gonna take out Saudi and force out a quick res from Ilias. But Q gonna get back the flanking attack visor. Doesn't really get anything that doesn't look like it. Dylan's following up onto Winston. But Saudi's yeah, but Fuse with a beautiful blade, and he just takes out 3, and I always didn't get a chance to use his chance. But Sungo coming out, he's actually gonna get a double kill onto Camel and Neg, and those are 2 big kills. But the DPS for Frostbite coming in clutch, forcing out the Valkyrie from Ilias. But it looks like Ilias is gonna continue. It looks like Frostbite's gonna hold here.
Whew.
My ultimate is charging.
So you got an interesting little head-to-head, right? You got Saudi coming in with the barrage, basically, and you got Q up with the attack visor. So we'll see which one wins out here in this last fight.
Tiger trying to get a sneaky Diva Bomb, but it was just in the perfect position that Reinhardt was ready to just block all of it. Totally useless.
Ooh, McCree just chilling on top. Don't you like it when they make it feisty? Like they actually do well. I'm so tired of seeing like blowouts. That's the one problem with this game is especially in like matchmaking. You hardly ever get like really close games. It's always just like you either get stomp or get stomped, and that's the beauty of like tournament competitive Overwatch. Is that this is when it's actually a close game and the teams are fighting and clawing and trying to come out on top and be the victors, and it's just cool to see what strategies they come up with, and this is the pinnacle of what Overwatch should be.
Join me.
this just fine. This would be a perfect location for a vision.
Hey. What are you looking at?
And that's big losing your main tank like that. That really creates a lot of problems for you. But Camera, their other main tank going down, so this will be an interesting little battle, seeing who can win without their main tank.
I think one thing that might not be in Cypher's calculations is the fact that Dillion's really putting in work as Reaper. When he first started here on defense, he was going to go for a more of a flank approach. He had his Death Blossom ready to go behind the team, but they quickly found him, and now he's just sticking with his team. And when you've got the Winston and D.Va jumping on, there's always a Reaper on their back. It's going to make those jumps way harder to pull off. He's pretty much rolling right with his Mercy and Zenyatta this whole time.
Yeah, so coming out, you do have a couple of ults on the side of Frostbite. You have that Valkyrie and the Tag Visor. You're coming up on that Trance and that's awesome. So look for Frostbite to push this payload, probably win this fight, maybe, and most likely get the checkpoint.
Looks like the Tag Visor coming out from Q. As he looks to grab a couple, he does grab Saudi, helps out, but looks like Dylan and Camel are going to get ahead of him and get all the kills before he can even get out there to use his Tag Visor. So maybe miscommunication, or maybe just players doing better than they thought they were going to do in that team fight, but I would have liked to see him either get the kills or save it.
Yeah, and we're going to see Dylan switch here over to that Junkrat, actually. So that'll give him a chance to get up onto that high ground as well, and create a nuisance for Cypher. Although Cypher's coming in with 5 ults, they're gonna really give Frostbite a challenge right here. And
There it is,
gonna
the
start
ultimate
here
coming
with
out
the
from Dark Tiger. And it will grab Neg. Neg Fear falling in the back line, so big pick on the side of Dark Tiger's Soul, taking out the res capability here on this push. And that's it. Frostbite needs to pull out. Need to pull back, regroup. Come back at this as a full team. Otherwise, they're just going to extend this moment of stagger, uncoordination, discoordination? Uncoordination.
I'm resorting to payload. Let's keep it moving.
Monkey Peroni with one of the few ults on the side of Cypher. Looks like we're gonna force out the Transcendence from A Julius. Saudi Captain finding him in the back line, and he's going to get taken out. Nobody saw him. He just creeped over all of the buildings to get in there and get those kills.
I tell you, I got a sixth sense for that. I've played a lot of Zenyatta, and pretty much every time you pop the Transcendence, if you're not careful, you're going to get ulted right after. Happens every time. You got to make sure you're ulting to stop another ult. Otherwise, you're just going to get blown up.
The small things
So,
that make the
coming
difference.
So coming out for the side of Frostbite, you do have a couple of really big crowd control ultimates with the Shatter and the Grab. Also got Visor and Valkyrie coming up, but there's going to be a tire coming out from Fuse. Let's see if we can get with it. Ooh, Joseph actually going to take it out, and that's a little bit unfortunate. But he's still going to get this soldier, and we'll see if we can finish off the kill.
Oh,
That's
great
a nice-
concussion mine.
Dude, what did I tell you about the concussion mine snaps? I told you, man, these Junkrats they're doing some crazy stuff.
If Joseph's about to find, oh no! He gets killed before he can get the final concussion mine to Joseph, but he'll get res just for that purpose. So we will see Cypher continuing to hold strong, and I'm getting a little bit worried now. Frostbite is going to have to at least get this second point if they want to move forward. If they don't get this second point, then they will not be moving on, and we will be seeing a Ryujin Cypher finals.
Well, that's a big pick starting coming up on the Fuse. Oh my god.
Dark Tiger with the colossal self-destruct.
But looking here, we got a barrage battle. Both fars, of course, having their barrages. But Camel, he's got the shatter. So I mean, if he can draw them all into the low ground and get them lined up, he could do big. But Dylan, come
There
in.
it is. These are the plays
that's a
that
big one.
Frostbite needs right now. That is 2 huge team fights that they were able to win.
Lane has been a saving grace for them. He's pulling it off on a bunch of different characters. It's great to see. He's really varying it out. Now we're seeing a far-on-far fight.
But Egoist is gonna pull out his pants. Nice job keeping his team alive. But Camel, he's gonna get burst down after that Transcendence runs out, and they're just gonna get burst down, and it's looking very, very unfortunate for Frostbite. But Neg's gonna come out and get 2 on the reses, but then get taken out in the process, and Egoist is gonna get zoned out.
Ooh, the Deadeye
Fuse
coming
is
out
gonna
from
drop.
Fuse along with that self-destruct from Dark Tiger going to make it very difficult to get to the point. Quite a close game right here.
And that's gonna do it.
Yeah,
It was good. They both played well. But Cypher coming up on top. That's another 2-0. Cypher coming up on top over Frostbite.
Oh! Good old donk right on the head.
Feels bad, man.
So it looks like we will be seeing a finals that will be Ryujin versus Cypher. We are going to be taking about a 15-minute break to allow these teams to get their map drafts done. We will be updating you on what the final pool will be. But until then, go ahead and grab yourselves a glass of water, take a bathroom break if you need to, but don't change the channel on Twitch, because we will be right back with our finals. All right.
We love to sing, we love to dance. We're human. Sometimes very human.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, if you're on the team of Ryujin, I've got some good news, but if you are anybody else, I've got some bad news. It seems like the team of Cypher has been forced to bow out. They are not going to be able to play in their final match, and so thus Ryujin will be winning the Overwatch Community Cup. Congratulations to that team. They went almost undefeated, losing only that one map to Mega Mulani and Phoenix Rising. With that, that's going to bring a conclusion to our Community Cup. Before we go and before we sign off, I do want to do a couple of shout outs as we go through this. Of course, there are the shout outs that are mandatory to all of the administrators and such of the Overguard that helped put these together and organize these. Thank you to you guys, our casters, of course, for spending the time to get in here and bring these matches to you. And last but not least, the community members and the players that are the ones that really make this possible. You guys are the ones that are coming out on your weekends and spending your time in these lobbies, taking on these teams and fighting through the streets of the Overwatch universe. We will be having a lot of information regarding our Season 3 start date and other awesome, juicy, glorious new features and things that we have coming to the Overguard for Season 3. And we may have a fun little thing for you guys here in a little bit, so stay tuned if you want to stay tuned for that. We're actually going to go ahead and see if Ryujin is down for a 3v3. See if they're willing to do that. So I will let you guys know what's happening in just a couple of seconds while I talk to the team captains. But as far as the standings go in the Community Cup, that has come to a conclusion with Ryujin taking the top spot in the finals due to a forfeit by Team Cypher. Conclusion of our stream, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you so much from myself, Steidel24, Akpo56, and Maggie PK. It has been a wonderful time casting for you guys. Good morning and good night.